she's her language yesterday. I want to see whether she's born in the United States or she's a naturalized citizen. I guess black folks are very happy that they put this person over a black woman. And what was interesting, in the primary, she got, Brenda Jones got more votes than this woman. Brenda Jones got 37.7% of the vote. And that Talabi, whatever her name is, got 35. And that was in the primary. But then when they got, during the election, the total in the election, in the general, I guess, Rashida got 31.2%, and Jones got 30.2%. The black folks put her over. And this woman representing, she's a Palestinian representing black Detroit. And it's really sad because her interests, yeah, she can say MF Donald Trump and y'all can laugh, and she can talk about America and y'all can laugh, and she can talk about Israel and all the other stuff you can laugh. But her interest is not Detroit. Her interest is not the black community. Her interest is her country. And sometimes y'all don't seem to understand that. So to see them all in there yesterday was really something. And I'm going to try to pull down how many the others are up in there. And what I found that was interesting, I'm going to get to the Burke factor, is that you didn't hear them say anything about the Black Caucus. All I heard them talk about was the Progressive Caucus. That's the first thing they do. If they start talking about progressive, that's because they need to use the black numbers to get high. And the black numbers think they're getting some, but it has nothing to do with black people. I think I heard, whatever this man is, I think he was George. He sounded so terrible. He was talking about Trump, and he was calling them about the Nazis, and just all the stuff he was saying had nothing to do with talking about the plight of black people. The same way I told you when I heard Benny Thompson last week, as poor as Mississippi is, he riding there talking about the caravans and all of the other stuff. And that's what these representatives been on, the immigration. No, nothing pertaining to black people. And if black people are all right with that, something is wrong with them. If black leadership is all right with that, something's wrong. When I pick up a paper and I see an op-ed about a black person talking about how is it moral and we got to be more of this to bring these people and all that, I don't even read the article. I turn it because really they're not looking at the interests of our people. Now, I'm going to work my way up to Bert Munoz. I told y'all he was a drunk. I told you his father, he's from, I think they said Mayberry, Mexico. We put these people in without even doing any kind of, nobody have profiled these folks, see what they really are. Half of these folks might not even be naturalized. And that's why they fight. They fight for their country more than they do this country. And as Dr. Anderson called us, you know, he said that we are the indigenous black people in this country. We're exceptional. And these folks be talking about fighting for the country that they came from and not for blacks in America. But they use us. They get on our backs like fleas get on dogs and something, and they ride us. When they get to their destination, they jump off. Now, it's interesting that the whole Black Caucus was following Munoz. Oh, they progressive, and Munoz is tough, and Munoz is this. They never would have followed a black person with a path like Munoz. I told y'all Munoz came from the gangs. Chewy put him there. I told y'all you need to check out all of that stuff. And when I was saying that, you all thought I was just being, you know. But to love black folks don't mean that you hate anybody else. And to tell the truth don't mean that you're hating people. It's just that you're telling the truth. And this man beat up his wife. That woman looked so bad. And she said he's been doing it forever. Well, I knew how Munoz was. He's sneaky. But black folks was following him. Or he over the Progressive Caucus. The Black Caucus gave up their rights to be the Black Caucus because they gave their rights to be the Black Caucus following the Progressive. Now, Munoz followed all that stuff Munoz followed did. He was helping all them folks from Mexico and everywhere. He wasn't helping black folks. And he beat his wife. And y'all be following people. I mean, I was talking to Dr. Anderson yesterday when I told him I wanted to get him next week. And we were talking about the stupidity of leadership leading black people and how black folks get on this mess. We were talking about the Detroit piece and how one of the representatives was talking about the caravans, and it was talking about, well, you know, about how, and they was talking about the citizenship, and they had said that if they have to go through writing citizenship on the census, that's going to mess with their right for representation, because a lot of folks who are not legal in America is not going to fill them out. Well, you have to tell me how you feel about this. Why should an illegal have the right to maximize their numbers to get more representation and end up with more representation than us? Something wrong with that picture. But no, Munoz was fighting for Maryville, Mexico. So is Jesus. He's not helping us at all. And my question is, every one of them up there need to have a profile done on them, because you don't know. You just voted for them. Like this woman from Pakistan over the black woman Brenda Jones. There's something sick about that. And the first thing she did is get up and say, MF Donald Trump, and laugh about it. She ain't gonna go back. Yeah, she mad at Donald Trump about nothing but the fight between the PLO in Israel. That's what she mad about. The PLO statehood. I'm worried about America, black America statehood. So you're not gonna get anything. But black Americans voted in Detroit. That was a disgrace that they replaced this woman and John Conyers, one of the founders of the Black Caucus. And these people are not joining the Black Caucus. They now have a progressive caucus in Congress, and they get ready to ride these black folks like they rode them. And these black folks is happy to get up, and they're embarrassing me. But they took Munoz off the street at 20-something years old and put him in the council seat. You wouldn't have did it for a black person. When a young black child get in trouble, that stuff follow him for the rest of his life. And anytime you try to do something with him, oh, you remember? He's been in that gang out there. They said Munoz got caught with all the cocaine and all that other stuff. They let out all the different stuff and the run-ins he had with the law with cocaine, everything. You would have been saying, oh, no, you know he do cocaine. You know he do this. He been bad, come from a bad house. But Munoz, y'all was following this man. I've never followed him, nor. I was talking to someone the other day who called me, and I said, you tell me, what have Jesus ever done for black people? And I'm going to get to my other stuff. They couldn't tell me. I said, I know it. What you said is he was with Harold. And he went with Harold to the second half, to 87, when we got him replaced. I think it was 87. We got him, he ran in 86 to replace Stenberg in 22nd. And he won, and then Harold died soon. But that's all you hear. You don't hear him say nothing else that's true he did, other than looking out, as he said, for the Latinos. And he up there grinning. He know he have no business up there. But we're hard on our own. We are on others. Now, the others. Let's get to. I got some other housekeeping stuff to do because I'm doing the other stuff last. I don't know whether y'all might not know who Dorothy Gartrell was. She was an activist for public housing. Dorothy Gartrell was my friend. I think Dorothy Gartrell might have died in 68 or something, or 69. She fought for the transformation of CHA when she was saying that they were stacking everybody up to poverty and everybody up. If there's an article on Dorothy in the Sunday, December 22nd, Sun-Times, if you want to read on her. And she was talking about how they had these folks, they should spread out the CHA and poverty and stuff like that. So she fought. That's why you end up getting voucher section and all this other stuff. Because she wanted mixed income communities and said that poverty was doing this. And she also talked about black folks having different programs in those public houses. That's Dorothy Gartrell. Well, they now have, and they've had it in the paper, you probably didn't pay no attention to it. They had a classified in Wednesday the 2nd of January, the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. Well, they're getting ready to, and I want you to hear this. They said, this notice will inform you about the lawsuit action lawsuit involving allegation of discrimination against African American individuals. She said black then. But it said this lawsuit was about African Americans, black Americans, right? And they finna dismiss all the claims and all the stuff that Dorothy Gautreaux had said. African American individuals who lived in public housing in Chicago or applicants of public housing in Chicago, please read this notice carefully and completely. Now, there was a notice about what they get ready to do with the Gautreaux. They got a notice to dismiss it. They said CHA will move forward with this responsibility and obligation under the settlement agreement. They're doing a settlement for class members will surrender their rights to sue the CHA for the specific discrimination claims in this case. And they're going to be in court, I think, on the 17th of January. But the reason I say that is because right there it says the lawsuit was with the African Americans, but it was black Americans. Dorothy Gautreaux bought it. But when you read in this story about Dorothy Gautreaux, it talks about blacks and Latinos. And Dorothy didn't talk about blacks and Latinos. And when you read this story, which is December 22nd on a Sunday, they're talking about blacks and they're talking about blacks and Latinos with the vouchers and the Section 8. And I bring your attention to that because I told you that Gutierrez went when the CHA was being torn down and demanded Section 8 vouchers for them illegals and Section 8 and vouchers. Section 8 vouchers. Section 8 and vouchers. Now, and in this thing, when the man did the story, Frank Mann, he threw in Latinos. U.S. District Judge Marvin Aspen is being asked to hold a hearing on January 27th, on January 17th. For CHA residents and people of CHA on the waiting list can sign off. They announced, I think it was a week ago, that they opened up the waiting list. Those who be on the waiting list, they had opened up enrollment for, I think, 2 weeks. But it was just in the paper. Nobody paid attention to it, and nobody pushed it. So those folks who have been waiting to get on back in CHA, or those folks who was promised to get back in there, they could have gone. But they ran that story real quick, and they didn't keep it in there long, just long enough for you to know, and those who gonna misuse it, that they would know. So this is something for you to think about and to look into it. And those of you who really are still fighting, because I fought hard for the public housing. And those of you who are still fighting need to be on top of that. HUD used the program as a model for its 5-year, 5-city experiment called Moving to Opportunity in 94. You got to understand, they used it as a model what Dorothy Gautreaux was talking about in 1994. This is when Gutierrez went and demanded these vouchers and stuff for his people. The program gave 4,600, mostly black and Latino families, the chance to move out of high poverty neighborhoods. You heard what I said, versus the class action. So make sure you look for that, and make sure you also look for when they had it open. Now I'm gonna get to our brother Bert. First I saw Tony on the news this morning. She need to stop lying. Tony Pratt-Wicker says she only have a relationship with Ann Burke 8 years. Tony, you had a very strong relationship with Burke when you was in city council. And you was in city council longer than that. Why are you lying? That's number one. Number two, you and Burke run the Democratic Party here in the city, in the state. You just need to shut up. See, if you lying now, what you talking about now, I can imagine what kind of mayor you're going to be. I'm sorry, y'all. Tony cannot be mayor of the city of Chicago. I'm telling you, I'm really concerned about that. Because even with her being over the Cook County Board, how many contracts did she give the black people? How many businesses did she start with black people? See, folks, is black by convenience. Not because it is right to do it, it's not because it's principle to do it. They say, I'm I'm black. I'm black. I'm so sick of that stuff. I don't know what to do. You only popular to be black when you want to use our votes like we some darn whores and you are pimps. Toni Preckwinkle knew Burke longer than any 8 years. Burke would not have had her in his house. Trust me. And why? Toni know you're supposed to file that stuff. What you supposed to file. Don't say you filed it later. Mendoza, you know better than that. Don't all y'all trying to tell me Ann Burke. Y'all hide behind Ann Burke. Chico the only one that didn't do it. Chico didn't hide behind Ann Burke. He said Toni asked him to give us some money. He gave us $700 or something. Toni Preckwinkle cannot be mayor of this city. Toni Preckwinkle, when she got to be at the county board, the first thing she did was everything that Stroger was doing, she turned it around. County's still all right, but they have cut so much. The first thing she did was took Providence Hospital and stopped letting the ambulance go to Providence. They had one of the best prenatal, one of the best places to have your baby with the midwife. She shut it down and put them out. Toni is black, conveniently black. You got to remember that Toni went out there working with us when we was trying to get Harold Washington in. What she did is ran against Tim Evans. Tried to unseat him and she couldn't. Then she ran again. Just always remember that. I'm so sick of these folks. They think all they have to do is wrap themselves in Harold Washington. You black folks go running. Even your leadership said, well, yeah, now that was with Harold. What does that mean? What does that mean they was with Harold? Explain that to me. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Burke ain't no fool. Don't y'all believe that Burke is going to take 20 years for Burger King? This stuff is deeper than Burger King. There ain't nothing but some subterfuge they done put on top of it. Burke got more sense than to talk on the phone like they said he talked. But in the trip, they said they had something else that was sealed that they hadn't opened up. That's what I want to see. Because a lot of folks are going down with Burke. A lot of aldermen. You want to talk about that zoning? Solis said he wasn't running again. He was on the zoning committee. They said Solis is singing like a canary bird. Now, the problem is, especially a lot of the black aldermen, not all of them, but most of them, they're the one where I live, they use that stuff to really disrespect and to sit on black folks' face. They don't mess with nobody else. But black folks, they zone black folks out of business. If you look at all the clubs and all the things we had in our community, it was those aldermen, our black aldermen, who zoned and shut those people down. And I done heard them get mad and say, well, I'll do this for zoning. I would say, that ain't right. Our aldermen wouldn't even give Peaches liquor license, zone them out in that little block around there to make sure they don't get one. Did a whole little crazy. You can look it up and see. When I was in that place where pizza is, that used to be spoken word. That whole building is zoned for alcohol because I zoned it for that. She wrote this new law saying no new liquor license. But yet every time them other folks ask for anything, she give it to them. She zoned my building, everything all out. She took our building and went all the way around and tried to go across the alley to make sure that the parkway or nobody get nothing. So they use their power wrong. I think that zoning stuff needs to be taken away. Because if they're going to abuse it, they end up in jail anyway. If you got a zoning commission, then the zoning commissioner should handle zoning. You should go down to City Hall and apply for zoning. The commissioner should have his staff to look at it. It should be based off the merits. Now, they say Solis is singing like a bird. They say a lot of these aldermen going to get caught up in this stuff. If y'all believe that Ed Burke was stupid enough to be on the phone talking about, well, you see, I'm not going to go get them and all that stuff, that ain't nothing but subterfuge. So y'all can think they're going after Burger King. Y'all right here jumping around. This stuff is so much bigger than that. Because Burke is not that stupid. When I saw that stuff, I was trying to figure out, what's this Burger King mess? And then I went on and I read, you can pull down the complaint.